Calisthenics is a beautiful style of training, sport we could say, but it can also play with you a lot, same as your girlfriend in your bed. You don't have a girlfriend. Same as me. Anyways, YouTube recommended me a video from Spence Crosby, a calisthenics athlete, or we could say athlete in general, because I can see her martial arts, taekwondo. Alright, let's just say a lot of things, but the video we're gonna watch today is called The Ugly Truth About the Calisthenics Training. And the thumbnail says what people aren't telling ya. I'd maybe, if I could, I'd maybe change the thumbnail to what people aren't telling you, but then I did. By the way, you maybe noticed that YouTube rolled out for everyone, or maybe they forgot just about me, the voiceover different languages. And it's horrible, man. I just don't understand why. Like, don't tell me that people cannot learn English. Like, English is super easy. The pronunciation is not. The ugly truth about calisthenics training. Alright. Spence Crosby on the mic.
Calisthenics has been rising in popularity as of recently.
Is this video really new, or is it like 4 years ago? It's truly 1 day ago. On Instagram, maybe. On YouTube, it's falling drastically down, man. Except of Ian Barsigo, but Ian Barsigo like took every single athlete interested in working out, same as Chris area. But I wouldn't say that calisthenics is on the rise, man. Calisthenics is dropping down real quick. At least on YouTube, yeah. And especially if you are talking about statics, competitions and all of that. Nobody cares about competitions. Someone had to say it. And who else than me? My reputation can't be any lower.
With social media being the front runner of bringing widespread accessibility, demonstrating all of the wonderful ways on how to train calisthenics, showing off cool looking moves like the planche, front lever.
Finally, someone who's pronouncing it correctly. No front lever. America.
Muscle up, and more. It's relatively easy to get into and can be trained anywhere in the world.
A couple of days ago, I checked out under the Geek Climbers brother. I made a video about if there's someone like, I don't know, commenting something about me. And I noticed that a comment saying that it was about learning the handstand. I don't have any space to train handstand. And I was like, what the hell, man? You have the whole planet. You don't need a bar, you don't need parallels. You can train it anywhere.
And with that, more and more people are naturally gravitating towards it. Being able to manipulate and control your body weight is a huge flex. That's one of the primary reasons I chose to train it. I believe calisthenics expresses true strength, technique, patience, and consistency.
Patience. 6 years for full front lever. Negative.
The art of calisthenics is undeniably beautiful, and it grabs attention from everybody in a public setting. However, it also comes with harsh realities.
6 years for full front lever, 3 seconds negative.
That many people just don't talk about. Here's harsh reality number 1. Genetics. Genetics play a major role when training calisthenics. Generally speaking, shorter, lighter people are able to demonstrate
I said it, man. This guy watches my videos.
and skill when it comes to calisthenics. Hence why most gymnasts you see are pretty short and light.
Said it.
The taller and heavier you are, the more difficulties you will have training calisthenics. And let's say you're like me. I stand at 5'11", but I have pretty long limbs. My arms are at 75.5 inches long in arm reach. And so my arm length, as you can see, the south side of the camera frame, is roughly of a person that is 6'3".
Don't even think about calisthenics skills. No chance. I'm kidding.
So that does put me at somewhat of a disadvantage when training calisthenics. If you have naturally bigger legs, you're gonna have a disadvantage. Most of the real strong athletes in calisthenics you see on social media have lighter bodies, shorter limbs, and oftentimes don't have big legs.
By the way, I talked about that in all my previous videos. If you are a short guy, that doesn't mean automatically that you will be good in statics. Your chances are quite higher than tall guy, but there's still some chance that you will suck in it also.
And that's not to take anything from their hard work and success, as it's still super impressive to see them demonstrate amazing feats of strength and skills.
Spence Crosby after doing this video. Those fucking short guys, I hate them, man.
But the harsh reality is, if you're taller, heavier, have longer limbs, you will have a harder time progressing in calisthenics versus your counterparts.
Yeah, don't even try.
Fancy moves like planche, front lever, back lever are leverage-based positions, meaning hand placement is everything. Going from a tuck planche to a full planche is a gargantuan change in overall strength output. It becomes significantly harder and tougher on your joints as you go from a tuck to a straight body position. The center of mass of your body is going to shift further and further away from the shoulder.
A little bit of physics with Geek Climber again.
This right here increases torque primarily on the front delts. And in physics, torque equals force times distance.
Not again physics, equations.
So shifting the distance of the center of mass from the shoulders will inevitably increase torque. If you're taller or have long arms in general, naturally you're going to have more impending torque on the shoulders, which then requires more
Do you see those legs, man? I know that this is the effect of wide angle lens, but just those legs are 6 foot too tall.
more strength in order to apply the necessary force to be able to full planche. Hence the big reason why I'm not able to full planche yet.
Excuses, bro.
Me personally, I'm at a slight disadvantage when it comes to leverage-based positions.
Excuses,
but you
bro.
know, that's still not gonna stop me. It's no excuses this way. Just have to train hard, smart, and never give up. Don't let your genetic makeup be the reason why you don't train calisthenics. You just have to approach it differently.
Just get stronger, bro.
Stop it.
The second harsh reality is the need to be creative. Training calisthenics requires a certain level of creativity and intelligence to become successful in it.
Yeah, but I would say that if you find a way how to progressively overload, not with the weighted. With the weighted, it's quite simple, you know, you will add every single week, for example, a half a kg. But with the body weight, it can be a little bit harder when it comes to pull-ups and dips, for example. Of course, there are multiple ways how to make them harder. You can do them slower, you can add reps, sets, you can do them explosively, you can take off rest time. And so by knowing all of this, people jump into the two-set method by Ian Barsic because it is super easy to really like progressively overload. But yeah, calisthenics requires a lot of creativity, especially if you don't have calisthenics park near your house. So what then you should do? Well, find a tree and work on that. What else you can do? Or buy a pull-up bar that you can put in your door frame, your doors, and you will fall on your back. But when it comes to the pushing, you don't need anything. Like for the pulling is the worst part, but the pushing, you just need floor.
This helps reduce the chances of you incurring an injury while you work to improve your strength and skill set. Not to say by any means if you lift weights, you don't need creativity or intelligence.
I disagree with that because as we know, or at least those who watch my videos, intelligence, it can also hurt your progress because you will overthink it, you will overthink calisthenics, and then you will just, okay, so what I should do? Or you will just spend most of the time solving equations like Geek-Climber and that will move you nowhere. Again, Geek-Climber this.
Because weightlifting alone has its own requirements.
Well, it's less demanding on creativity because this is essentially like the two-set method. You are just adding a little bit more and more and more and more and more every single week.
However, when you train calisthenics and you want to progress effectively, you have to approach it methodically. If you train at home and you have limited access to equipment, you're gonna have to be creative. You wanna do pulling exercises, but have no access to a pull-up bar or a set of dip bars?
You are fucked up.
Do bodyweight rows using a pair of chairs. You could do bodyweight curls using objects around the house, like this, or even a table. Creativity is needed in order to progress effectively in calisthenics.
Man, I couldn't do those dips on those chairs, man. I would fall immediately.
And that's just the harsh truth. Don't expect to make progress just training your muscles with a little bit of thought when it comes to training calisthenics. Some of your more high calorie burning days will consist of you not just training, but also thinking.
But as I said, don't overthink. I respect that guy. I respect Spence Crosby to be able to do this because I tried it also in like middle of my 6 years long journey and I just couldn't do it, obviously. This essentially like you are doing 80 kgs or you're pushing your entire body weight on shoulder press. And then you are not doing the typical bodybuilding style like, you know, you go deep and all the way back up. By the way, 24-inch, that's what today's women need.
But just don't overthink it. The third harsh reality I want to talk about is overtraining in calisthenics. Overtraining is common amongst all athletes and fitness enthusiasts. Absolutely no one is safeguarded from overtraining. You just have to be smart. The frequency of it, I would argue, is higher in calisthenics.
No, yeah, probably. Especially at the beginning when people are trying different basic calisthenics skills, you know, pull-ups, which are not basic, push-ups and all of that. Well, in the push-ups, you are not using your whole body weight, roughly around 60% or something like that. Beginners in calisthenics are essentially right away working with their entire body weight. Not like in bodybuilding or weightlifting in general, what they will do, for example, the first exercise, some compound movement, but then they go for biceps curls, for example, and they won't choose to curl 40 kgs each hand at the beginning of their journey. So, you know, in calisthenics, you go workout, handstand for a warm-up, which is not really like strength demanding skill, but balance, little bit of strength also, but whatever. Then handstand push-ups, then front lever planche, and, you know.
Primarily because we're not just training our muscles, but also our tendons and our ligaments.
Yeah.
And we emphasize on lockouts to really demonstrate strength, control, and technique. This right here can tax the joint over time. When you work on straight arm position moves like planche, front lever, handstands, and more, that requires more stress on the connective tissue in our joints. Joints don't get an extensive supply of blood and nutrients compared to muscles. Joints are lined with a thin tissue layer called articular cartilage, which permits smooth movement between the joints. This cartilage is considered avascular, which means it doesn't get a direct blood supply. So it receives nutrients through a process called diffusion from surrounding synovial fluid.
By the way, all content copyright 2009. Rip Spence Crosby's video and also rip my videos. If they will ever find out.
Which is the main reason why it heals slower compared to other tissues in the body. So if you had a pretty intense planche training and after 1 day of rest, you pick up your planche training for day 2, don't be surprised if you're weaker. Joints take a longer time to heal.
And by the way, as I can see here at this point where he's trying to do supinated tuck planche, advanced tuck planche hold, by the way, pelvis. Anyways, it is a tough position, but as I can see here, he doesn't also have lockout arms and he has the same problem. But he's my brother, he's my lost brother. I never found. I could do proper lockout with hands like this, you know, sideways, and maybe I could even lock them out with pronated grip, let's say. But whenever I try to do supinated or even ring support hold, you know what I mean, I couldn't lock them out. But I believe it's just a matter of time. When you will start training this supinated hold, you will eventually get it.
And if you keep training at this intensity without getting proper rest or nutrition, then overtraining is inevitable. And this will delay your progress and possibly injure you. So that's something you guys should be aware of when training calisthenics. Training skills and pursuing strength without getting injured.
This could be also the case of the two-set method. One of you guys commented that you like did it for 7 months or something and then you just couldn't recover and recover. Because if I remember the plan correctly, first day, pull day, for example, then rest day, then push day. All of these workouts you go to failure. 4th day, rest day, and then you again do pull day. Don't tell me that the second pull day, you will be fresh. First day you do pull day, you rest, but then you go for push day, and even in pushing skills, you are using those pulling muscles, let's say. So possibly if you will somehow overdo it, or I don't know, you will essentially go to every workout more and more sore. That's just what I think.
Training skills and pursuing strength without getting injured is a bit difficult to come by. And unfortunately, it's a reality that can be harsh if not approached safely and effectively. The last harsh reality I have for you guys is something that I really have a personal connection with, and that's the feeling of not making progress.
I know very well this feeling. 6 years for front lever.
Really just putting a timeline on things. You know, unfortunately guys, when training calisthenics, we go on the internet and we search up how long does it take to get the planche.
And we watch 1,000 videos of how to planche, how long it takes to full planche. It's just a waste of time and just go and train for it.
Front lever, muscle up. And then we apply that timeline to ourselves. And that's something we shouldn't do because everyone is different. Like I said earlier in the video, genetics play a major role in your journey of calisthenics. So when you're talking to your homies or people you know at the gym or in your neighborhood and they say, hey, I got the full planche in a year. It might not take you a year. It might take you a year and a half, 2 years, or you can possibly get it sooner than that.
Don't believe in that. It is always better to count with the worst scenario than with the bad one. I will say like that.
But the point is, don't fall victim to the timeline. That's something myself have become a victim of. I told myself, hey, I'm gonna get the full planche in probably a year and a half. Still don't have the full planche after 3+ years of training calisthenics.
It reminds me so much of my calisthenics journey. Like I remember so well thinking or like saying to my friend, to my homie, bro, I will learn the full planche before I will end my high school. How do you think it ended up? No full planche. No full front lever even.
Granted, was it consistent planche training all these years? No, I have taken time off training the planche. But as of recently, the last year and some change, I've been working to get the full planche. I'm not gonna quit, but I just come to realize that I'm not so caught up in the timeline when I should have the full planche. Not getting so caught up in, hey, I should be like this guy on Instagram or YouTube. No, I'm taking 1 day at a time and enjoying the process. And that's my big recommendation to you guys. Don't become a victim of you not making progress. There are gonna be days where you're not making progress like that. Trust me, I've been through it. There are gonna be days where you feel like, hey, I can do more. The days where you feel like you can do more, don't go as hard still, because that can really lead to overtraining. It's all about approaching it methodically and safely,
These
so that way
push-ups.
you can continue to make strength and skill gains without incurring an injury. Oftentimes, that's why people quit the planche.
I wouldn't combine these two, but if I can climber, maybe we will find a way how to combine them.
Hey, I wasn't able to get the full planche like my friend was, so maybe he just has better genetics than me.
Being 4 foot tall.
And that's not necessarily the case. Everyone is built different. It's not a matter of who has better genetics when it comes to training calisthenics. It's just a matter of training safely and effectively. Granted, if you're like 6'4 plus, you're gonna have a tough time training calisthenics. I'm not gonna lie to you, you will.
No, it's there are excuses. They all are excuses. If you are 8 feet tall, you can still full planche. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, you can definitely smash the like button. And if you want to support me a little bit more, you can become a member for $1. It will still support me a lot. Or you can send me money through the PayPal link down below, so there's no cut. But if you just want to watch more of my stuff, check out this video with YouTube things you will like also. So click on it and I will see you there. If you want, I won't see you. It's simple deal. Anyways, wish you have a great workout today if you are working out. And see you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye.